Good afternoon, and today we're taking a look at the 2016 Ford Focus. This is actually my Ford Focus. I've been driving it around for about 3 months, and I have had quite a good experience with the vehicle, its driving characteristics and safety features. So as you notice, this Ford Focus doesn't look like the Ford Focus I was going to get if you've been following some of the videos I've been putting up. I didn't want a new car, and but I wound up getting one just because I didn't want to deal with the used car issues. So this is going to be a review of the car interior and exterior, and I'll also throw some clips in of the motor, and we'll also take it for a drive so you can experience the car as if you were sitting in the vehicle. So we're going to start with the exterior here. You have the front or the headlights here. There's something new in this model from 2016. There are LED running lights here. It really gives the car a good look. I'll actually import a video of that. So I want to call them daytime running lights. So it does give the car a really nice look in the day, and it increases your visibility. The car also has fog lights. These aren't standard, which they should be. I don't really know why they wouldn't be, but you know, this also increases your visibility and gives you just a little bit more light. Not that much more. And I like what Ford is doing with these new vehicles. I love this front grille. It looks gives it an aggressive look. These new Focuses look great, and I think this is the Mark II Focus. These look great. I mean, when they started putting these grills on, like this type of grill, and it's also chrome accent in it. Actually, this isn't real chrome; it's plastic, but it's faux chrome accent in it. But it really gives it a nice look. We're going to go ahead and look at the side here. This car comes with Continental all-season tires. These are, I believe, 17-inch tires. Also, this is part of the appearance package that I got on the vehicle. These nice, which are blazing hot from the brakes, because you can feel the heat. These wheels were painted black, and that black also matches the shadow black paint scheme of the vehicle. If we look on the mirror here, on both mirrors we'll have these signals. Of course, that's another safety feature. And I'll say it's more fault tolerant. Let's just say a bulb goes out or something. You have this light here, this extra signal just to give drivers a little bit more warning. Going toward the back, you got these nice little quarter windows. Gives it the car a little bit more visibility. You have this, so if we go and take a look at the fuel cap area, you notice this is the capless fuel system, so it's an anti-siphon fuel system. You put the fuel nozzle in, it'll know when you're putting the fuel nozzle in, or a funnel if you need to fill up, you know, you run out of gas when you're on the road. So it's anti-siphon, so nobody's going to be able to stick a hose down there and get anything out of the tank. Going toward the back, we're taking a look at the taillights and the hatchback. There's also a windshield wiper back here. And speaking of windshield wipers, we'll talk about the fronts in a second. Very unique design that I've never seen on a vehicle before, at least in a vehicle of this class. But you also have these are your reflectors. So again, it gives the car more visibility at night. And we'll take a look at the trunk later. And here's the driver's side. And before we get into the vehicle, we're going to go ahead and take a look at these mirrors with blind spot, with the blind spot convex mirror. Again, more safety features. It allows you to see out further. It's good if you're backing up into a tight spot, or you're in the highway and you want to change lanes. It's just that extra safety that makes this car really nice, at least for me, because I'm a fairly new driver, so this is pretty nice. This is another feature that does not come with the vehicle. This is a keypad. It's an optional extra. So if you want to unlock your car with the keypad, you can. You do get a code programmed from the factory. You can change that code. You just have to read through the manual and figure out how to do that. I remember seeing this on my aunt's old Lincolns, and I think she has it on her most current Lincoln, which is a '03 Lincoln Town Car, and it has this keypad. I thought it was cool when I was a kid. So anyway, let's take a look at the interior of the vehicle, and we'll start it up and go over the electronic features of the vehicle and all the components that I can think of. So now we're taking a look at the interior of the 2016 Ford Focus. And you'll notice things about this car, and since it's actually hot today, I'm going to go ahead and start it up. But you'll notice things about this car that are not in normal cars. So one thing I want to talk about is the locking system here. You have your electronic locks, but there is no manual lever to actually unlock the door. So I'm wondering if that lever is connected to this handle. So anytime you pull this handle, it actually pulls the lever. Of course, that's just another steel cable that could break down the line. So we'll go over the door controls. You have your mirror, electronic mirrors, your window controls, and your window lock. You also have some storage down here. Now the door is open. It's just giving me an audible sound telling me that the door is open. If I close it, that beeping sound will stop. So anytime the engine is running and you open the door, it'll tell you that the engine is on, letting you know that you left the engine on, but you know. Also, I can pop the trunk. It should tell me that my trunk is open. The trunk is ajar. Awesome. I'll have to remember to close that before I go. Actually, there's a little diagram here that shows you the state of your vehicle. So as you can see, the back, the trunk is popped open. It also tells you that your headlights are on. So let's just go over the gauge cluster. You have your tachometer. Of course, you have your status of your lights down in the bottom of your tachometer. You have your fuel and temperature gauge and your speedometer, and the state of your handbrake and other indicators that would be there. Also in this little driver entertainment, driver information center here, you can look at your speed, your trip. I haven't reset my trip. Your average miles per gallon. What do you call it? Your real-time miles per gallon. Your distance till empty, and your trip timer. And of course, a combination of most of them. And you also get a digital speedometer, which is awesome. This car has a 6-speed automatic transmission. This is Ford's power shift transmission. It's basically a dual clutch gearbox, so it gives you nice crisp shifts or clean shifts. It does have the automatic, or excuse me, the manual shiftability. Of course, since we're standing still, we can't shift through the gears, but it has a sport mode, and if you press the buttons up and down, it'll enable the manual shifting option. Okay, so now we're going to start on the entertainment system here. This entertainment system is a Microsoft Sync enabled system. So what that basically means is voice commands here, which I will now demonstrate.
Please say a command.
Play Steely Dan.
Playing artist Steely Dan.
And it'll play the song you, well, the artist you say or the song you play. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that.
Please say a command.
Play Gran Turismo from the East.
Playing song Gran Turismo 2 from the East.
So it's really simple once you have it set up, and basically this is actually reading off of a storage device that I plugged into the car. We'll actually take a look at that in a second. It's just a USB drive. So let's go over the rest of the entertainment system. That's a little bit of what Sync can do. I'm not going to go over it because that's about the peak of its function. We're gonna look at the radio here. So basically this is your standard FM radio with RDS, so you can actually see the station you're playing from, and if the information is available, it'll pull down the song that's actually being played. So let's go ahead and go to Sirius. And of course, this car does come enabled with Sirius. It's not worth paying for. Just play podcasts from your phone. And yeah, I don't use Sirius. I don't have a need for Sirius, so I'm not going to pay for it. The trial expires in October, so they've already sent me crap in the mail like, hey, come buy our service. I am not going to do that. Of course, Sirius has a replay option where it actually, I think it caches the song, and you can actually replay that song. It basically just downloads onto a little storage device in the car, and you can replay that song, which is kind of awesome. And I think you can fast forward and rewind, which is awesome. So, you know, it also makes me reconsider buying Sirius when I don't want to fumble with a phone or anything. But I think I've got everything down packed. This system's also Bluetooth enabled, so you can sync your devices with the vehicle. You can actually make calls with the vehicle using sync. So you can say, hey, call Bob, or call Dave, or you know, call Marcus, and it'll actually do that, which is quite interesting. I'm not going to demonstrate that, but you pretty much should get that. I mean, most cars come with that today. So you have your sound. This is where you can change equalizer settings. You have your menu. This is your sync settings. You can actually reset sync. It also is application enabled, so if you have Spotify, it actually syncs seamless with Spotify. Your audio settings, clock settings, you know, different settings that has something to do with your radio. You have your camera settings. As you know, this car does have a backup camera. One thing I don't like about the backup camera is you can't leave it running where you can like just see what's behind you. Of course, your radio would be useless at that point because you wouldn't be able to control the radio with the backup camera on. I'm hoping they enable that in a firmware update down the line, but you actually have a camera delay. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if you can see that, but basically you can actually let the camera stay on for like an extra 5 or 10 seconds after you leave reverse. It's kind of just to let you know, or give you an extra eye that you're clearing a turn, or if you have even if you have a trailer behind you, you can leave that running for like another 5 or 10 seconds before it switches back to the radio. It's kind of awesome. I actually have that enabled because I find it very useful. Let's just go back to the media here. And as we're looking through the media options, you have your Bluetooth, USB 2, line in, mobile app. This car actually has 2 USB ports. It has Bluetooth and line in. So that's quite awesome. So anyway, that's pretty much the extent of the stereo system. I probably missed a lot of things, but that's about as again, that's the peak of what it can do. You can also dial numbers with this number pad, which is awesome. So if you're driving and you have to call technical support, you know how you have to hit the numbers to get to certain parts of the phone menu. The numbers are right here. So that's awesome. Okay, so now we're getting down to the climate control. It's climate control. You got your AC, heating, hot, cold, on and off, your defroster. Yeah, I mean, nothing, just your basic climate control system. So you have a USB port down here. You have a 12-volt port down here. It is actually capped. That's a nice feature. So right now we're getting down to the cup holders here, and they're nice size cup holders. I've put some of those big like 7-Up, you know, 7-Eleven big, just 32-ounce cups in here. It actually fits. And if you have a very, very tall cup, you can actually take this thing out and fit it in there. It is actually pretty light out right now, so you can't see any of the LED lighting features in this vehicle. But there's actually LED lights down here, and they don't turn on until nighttime because the car has a light sensor. But you can actually change the colors using this button up here. And I forgot to go over this section, but you know, you have your lighting controlled right here, your brightness for the lighting, and you have your option to turn your lights on and off for the vehicle. But anyway, now we get down to what looks like a wiry mess, but it's actually not. So I ordered a USB hub, a powered hub, so I can have my USB devices always having available power. I think that's something every car everybody should have in their car, because everybody has a smartphone and everybody wants to charge their devices on the go. So in here you have your audio jack, which is a standard 3.5 millimeter jack. Your USB port, which I have a tiny little USB port in here, and as I change songs, it should just light up. But I am changing the songs now. It's not lighting up because the car, I think, pulls all the songs down to its memory, and you only references this device if that song hasn't been played before. So it's a nice feature. In another 12-volt port, and again, that's powering the 6-port or 7-port USB hub. There we go. Just take a look at the interior again. So let's go ahead and take a look at the back seat, shall we? So if I get in the back seat here, it is adjusted to my height. So honestly, it's pretty cramped back here. The seat height to where your knees are placed, it's not terrible, but the length of legroom you get is negative. You just don't get a lot of space in this car. That is a compromise I had to make, but I don't really chauffeur people around. I am looking to be an Uber driver at some point, or trying to think here, a Lyft driver. So I would like to have I would like to chauffeur people eventually, but I will have to move the passenger seat up way, move it up all the way, so it's gives the passengers enough room. So anyway, we're in the back, and I'm pretty snug, but I'm my knees are my legs are touching the chair. The seats are pretty comfortable. They're not as bad as the Chevy Sonic, which is another car I looked at. So you have this little center armrest here with cup holders. That's a nice touch. You also have adjustable headrest. And not much going on back here. You have little pockets on both seats, which I adore, because storage is a problem in this vehicle. You have little bins down here as well as on that side, and that's just about it. Headroom is not too bad. Yeah, that's, I would say, 2 to 3 inches of headroom. And I guess that's it. Let's check out the trunk area. So in the trunk, you actually get I would say a good amount of space. This is one of the things that attracted me to buying a hatchback vehicle. It's the practicality. So you have this awesome little privacy shield, which of course protects people from seeing the goods in your trunk, if there is any. I did notice here, this is actually the wheel well cover that they also use in the ST model. And here is where they clipped on the subwoofer. Now you can actually get a custom built subwoofer for this vehicle and use that same little mounting point there. And the subwoofer for this car, the size is it's really not that big, but it has a nice punch, and it still allows you to use your entire trunk. So the fuse box for this car is actually located back here. As you can tell, I don't have much plugged into this vehicle. This is all the basic stuff, but there is a fuse box back here in the trunk if that's what you were looking for. There's also something here. I believe that is the windshield washer fill-up. I don't know what that is, to be honest with you. Oh, I know what that is. That is the clips for the for the rear tail lights. So that's where you can, and of course over here they have that same thing. Yep, that's what they are. It's the clips for the release of the tail lights. And actually, let me show you one more thing here. So in the back seat you have the buttons here, and this will actually allow the seats to fold down. It is a 60-40 split. You might have to take the headrest off to actually get them to fold down all the way, and they still don't fold flat, but they fold down far enough where you can throw things in the back like surfboards or skis or whatever. And that's it. We're just going to do one more once around of the vehicle. And there we go. So I hope you enjoyed the review. I will actually do some test drive footage sometime in this video. I have to figure out when I'm going to import that, but I should be having that video edited sometime this week. So thanks for watching.